like IG kind of woke up a little bit as well. So I don't know. I have a Mandarin in front of me that is, you know, it's obviously orange looking, and that's.
I have my cup of tea with me, so I have my TTT that is just ready to bring us across. So let's get into it. You know.
Okay, well and one day we need more teams than just, you know, orangey and TT. Like we need a team that works with a banana, right? Like I don't know what that would be, but no.
I feel like anyone's legend could do it because could do like a fruit. What's the game? The fruit smashing slicing game.
Oh yeah, Fruit Ninja.
Yeah.
See, I always think the logo looks like, you know, the main character, the Jack Black's character in Kung Fu Panda. Yeah. That's the first thought. But hey, we're in pick and bans for the final game of this series before we get to match of the week. This time, I think we've learned that Wukong on the red side is a good ban, as TT have of course swapped back over, but IG still with the same merit.
Yeah, I mean, Wukong a good ban, Silas I think a good ban, Zeri phenomenal ban. Honestly, I think IG just hit all the OP champions on this patch, so great job from them. Do we get it on? Are you willing to bring it? Now we've definitely seen Wink play this. Yeah, which is why I'm like, are we gonna swap?
Roll swap
back? Because
On
has played Seraphine, so maybe now we get the rope-a-dope where Wink goes into the 80 carry spot, On goes to support, he plays the Seraphine. Or, Senna's banned, so they can't take Senna. So never mind that.
Because the champions are not the same, Dagda. I know it's a spoiler. Seraphine and Draven, probably opposite ends. To be fair, though, I think they are both egotistical. Like, Draven is, you know... Is it fair to say he's a narcissist? Like, that's his character, right?
Definitely, yeah.
But Seraphine as well is... You know, let's be real, there's a lot of ego there too.
Yeah, she wiped out an entire race of beings so that she could sing a little bit better and a little bit better.
Did she actually? She wiped out?
Yeah, she killed all that's the lore, is that she killed all the Skarner's people because her amplifying sound are the crystals from Skarner's people.
Oh my god.
It's
so dark. They painted her just to be a musician who, you know, wants to be in the spotlight. But wow, that is so dark for a character.
Yeah. For someone who's all sparkly and shiny, there's some real dark history there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, TT, here we go. The Azir, I already kind of pointed this out in Game 2 draft. I'm not a big fan of Azir and Kalista combos. I feel like they just want to do opposite things. The Trundle at least will give Beishuan a good amount of opportunity to try and play around this bottom side and try to set up Kepler and Yao, but I still think you need a stronger engage tool here from TT. So I imagine they're going to try and look for something like a Nautilus or something along those lines for Yao, unless it gets banned away here by IG.
Okay, well, we're going to get Azir Corki in the mid lane, it feels. Yes, we are. There was the Nikali there, but we didn't like it in the first place. We're back to square one. So far, Dagda, comp-wise, what do you think is our direction here?
So I definitely think for IG, you're looking at team fight. I'm curious to see what they decide to go towards for Shun. I feel like it'd be something like the Xin Zhao or something along these lines. Zik as well could always go back towards the Sejuani, but I think when you've already got enough of an engage tool in the Amumu, we're probably just going to look towards the Gwen in the top lane. Honestly, like a Xin Zhao Gwen, I think does really well against things like the Kalista and the Azir, because it makes it very hard for you to actually have these strong engages. A lot of damage come off in these fights because your damage just falls onto nothing.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, look, already set up with the Trundles like that. IG, the Alistar to go with it feels good at this point in time, considering that Yao sacrificing, not having the Renata. He had a really good Nautilus game in the first game, Dagda, which is why I'm leaning that way.
Yeah, I feel like the Nautilus is going to get banned. Yeah, there it is. Okay. The thing with the Alistar is that it does well in dissuading the Amumu from coming in. You can headbutt him away. You can pulverize him when he tries to go for the bandage toss. The other engaged champion that you kind of think of in the bot lane now is Leona. But Leona launching herself into the Amumu kind of just lets the Amumu have a good spot to follow up on, because it's like, oh, well, everyone's going to jump in onto this one target. Cool, I'm bandage tossing onto the Leona and killing them. So it makes things a little bit easier. So I'd be surprised now to see Yao go towards that. But I am kind of questioning, like, what do you actually go for then in this composition? Maybe you do just go for some sort of enchanter here on the bot side. It's not ideal with the Renata being taken away, but I just don't know what else you can go for, honestly.
Leona though? Like, or Rel, something that Ming pulled out yesterday. Now, Yao is not Ming. However, if he plays like game one, Yao could one day be Ming. So there's always that.
Oh, that could actually be a good pick. Gragas support could actually be the pick, maybe. So you still get the disengage on the Amumu. You got decent engage coming through. And you can slow the Draven when he tries to go for these chase down potentials. But again, it's just super hard. Honestly, I think the range support might be the best bet, just so you can try and like push out the lane a little bit. Then you like it kind of nullifies Wink and On playing hyper aggressive because they're constantly pushing under the tower. But yeah, it's a hard one.
But Dagda, could be a Trundle support, could be a flex with this Lee Sin locked in.
True.
I mean, we haven't seen him in a while, but hey, there it is. We can talk a little bit more about this because I know you like the Gragas, the disengage, the kind of frontline-esque as well. I guess Yao going to be a similar vein here for this bottom lane. Yeah,
you've nailed it, Eric's. Like the fact you get the pillar there does the same job of trying to disrupt the Draven as he tries to chase you down or tries to get good trades. You also get when you're playing support Trundle, you want to use the subjugate to like focus down one target, and if that isn't going to be in the bottom side, you can very quickly steal away stats from the Amumu, completely disintegrate the Amumu, steal away stats from the Draven, and you've got a little single target damage coming through from Beishuan and Kepler as well, so that could actually work out incredibly well. So yeah, it is going to be Yao piloting the Trundle. It's been a hot minute, but I think being able to, if Yao's on point, the Trundle pillars can interrupt the bandage tosses, can interrupt the Draven, can steal away Shun's his resistances when he goes into fights. This could actually work out relatively well.
So comp-wise, what spells it here? Let's start with IG because we did talk a lot about, you know, like the early game for Arn is obvious here on the Draven, and it is going to be Arn on the Draven, which just makes me wonder how, you know, Wink would be feeling going into this one. But we do also have some of that good team fighting we talked about. We now have a prominent side laner up there as well. It does feel like to me, Dagda, that we've got an opportunity to see IG kind of close this out with some speciality picks that come from a well-rounded draft.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be what we're kind of leaning towards here is IG going for team fights, making sure that they're able to set up well for themselves on the bottom side of the map with this Draven. You've got good late game and team fight scaling coming through with the Corki, and as well as Zika going towards the Fiora. I think a lot of, like, Fiora can actually do okay in team fights now, almost being used as a massive heal bot thanks to the ultimate. So focus down one carry, you kill them, and then Zika procs the ultimate, which means that you get a ton of healing for your backline. And then as you're starting to fight forward, it becomes harder and harder for TT to deal with. So we'll have to see how that one is going to try and pan out. TT side, though, a little bit messy. I'm not the biggest fan of Azir Callistas, we already talked about. I don't think they have great engage. I'm not as sold on TT's side.
Well, it seems situational, right? Like, I think in the past when we saw the old IG squad and Rookie was on it, and these games where they had no engage, but they decided Rookie was going to be the engage on Azir. Maybe Yukal's like that portion this time. Fate's Call, Yao with the pillar. A lot of pick potential at the very least, Dagda, especially in this early game. And I think we can kind of discuss where junglers are going to pay their attention because in this final game of the series, they are interesting drafts. And we know bot lane is so volatile. Whichever one comes out of the laning phase feels like a good news story.
Yeah, and especially when you see Yao going for the Hail of Blades. Like, this is we are going aggro in this bot lane. So even you can see right now, Beishuan moving down here with Yao and Kepler just trying to clear out some vision. I would not be surprised to see, like, very early ganks from Beishuan towards this bot side. And because the Hail of Blades quickly falls off over the course of the game.
Yeah, it does. But Dagda, I spam this a lot in solo queue. I'm guilty of loving Trundle supporters. IG are going to get a surprise around the corner, and here we go. A flash away from Arn immediately, and if Yao gets that chomp down the slow as well, something we have to talk about. But hey, TT with a successful invade. The Rent helps out. Beishuan is going to be vertical jungling down towards the most volatile lane in this game.
Which I think is a great call here from TT to actually go for that invade. They know that they are stronger at the level 1. Just because of how strong Yao is, same with Beishuan, like they're totally fine to go for this. And as you say, it forces Shun to go for the counter push on top side, sorry, the counter strike on top side. So he's now going for the invade, and it means that you get all the camps cleared. So there's no reason for Shun to be on the spot lane at any point in time.
And a couple of wards dropped by as well for him to check. Like the wolves weren't taken, so at the very least there is one, but still you got to assume at this point as Beishuan is going back to his own red side. You can see that Beishuan will have a bit of a lead as well. His red buff will go down quite shortly. Because of that, TT's bottom lane, like, it begins. Hail of Blade onto Wink, and he's at half HP with a good Ren stack from Kepler too.
And that's the thing. If Wink ever tries to engage on this, Yayo just kills him. Again, Glacial Augment, very nice in trying to, set up engages, make sure in a good spot. But it does mean that you're very, very squishy. So Wink gonna have to be on the back foot here, and Yukal will find Shun on this top side.
Yeah, the timing is not good. I mean, he walks in toward the brush. Yukal not gonna having to flash away. The shifting sands are still available. Doesn't use that for now and gets Shun with a bit of a burst trade himself. So Beitwan moving towards bottom side. Dagda, Yukal will still have priority in this lane as he's been bullying out Uekai for quite some time as our camera panned over.
Yeah, and I gotta give a word of warning here when we're watching Yukal's Azir, because the last time we saw Yukal play this pick, he was roaming everywhere, which is not something we typically expect of the Azir. He was like 4-0 in the last series. We'll have to see if he can do it again.
Well, there's a dive in the bottom lane, so we're going to pause. Pillars down, Arn's being chopped. Yao Yao takes one more turret shot as Ignite comes through, but the kill needs to come in. Kepler only just survives as Beitwan with the double bandage shots is trying to survive the Amumu, but doesn't hit Wink. So turret doesn't start clobbering him. Works out for TT, a scattered dive, but still a good one.
Yeah, good guy Kepler there, realizing, look, I am an AD carry, and I am tanking, but I will not panic and leave from underneath the tower. So Beishwan able to get the kill and they get away. Draven dying as well, halving those stacks, going to be very nice for these early stages, and just a great gank. On position underneath the tower means that you're in a good spot here for the pillar when it comes through. You separate him away from us, so he has to run through everyone. So Yao tanks initially. Kepler here as well tanks one extra turret shot, knowing that he'd be okay, and they managed to get that kill.
That was really nice. I mean, again, from TT, we've complimented a lot of their early game in the past 3 games, because their early game has been something that has been desired. The first 20 minutes, so beautiful to watch. As now Goldlead steps up there too, thanks to bot being set up, and Dagda once again, we reminded our audience that bot was going to be important in this final game, and already bit behind in CS, and look at where the wave is at the moment, right in front of turret, right in Kepler's hands. That means Yao Yao can start being a trundle of the jungle too.
Yeah, he's going to start roaming around the map doing, as we said, Yao things. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try and make some sort of safety net here for Yukal in the mid lane, help him push in this wave, make sure he can collapse it, but IG are all here. Holy moly, they really want to try and counteract this.
Wink is actually level 4. He's got a higher level than Arn. So with Arn moving around, I mean, yeah, he just wants to get out because the freeze is been there for quite a while. However, the wave is eventually pushing out, so Wink and Arn making their way back down. Yukal going over vision here and just threatening, while Beitwan and Yao Yao moving as a 2-man unit for the time being. The wave finally crashes in, and Dagda, Dragon's also up now. This is just perfect timing from TT to coordinate.
And it's a massive wave bot, so there's no way that he can try to leave the tower. You've got both mid laners TPing in, but Yukal, free 6, should be able to get control of that wave as well. So there's just no way that IG can try and contest this. And this was just a really well orchestrated early game from TT at the moment, making sure Kepler gets a lead, and now using those advantages to snowball objectives.
I mean, Kepler's almost level 6 as well, so it is going to go from bad to worse pretty soon within the laning phase, Dagda. With that 6 picked up, I can't wait to see a Fate's core with a Trundle that may or may not have Subjugate, but still has one hell of a bite.
Oh, here we go!
Oh, good flash. Seismic Shove gets him, and Beitwan coming in as well. Might not have 6, but a couple of autos will do it. And the turret unable to clean him up. It was a good slide and glide from Yukal to help Beitwan with his second kill.
Alright, Starks, I'm going to need to know, was that the rookie engage that you were looking for in this Azir, or like, did it live up to it? Because Yukal kind of clean with it there.
Yeah, I mean, it was clean. It was nice to see, but this walking into a brush as he tries to walk down to the bottom lane, this goes against the play. The shifting sands going right to left, and at least he survives. But yeah, Dagda, it was still clean, and it was Yukal's Azir, which needs to be highlighted.
Oh, Beishwan should be here for the counter gank here.
Yeah, this is not great. The pillar's slowing them down too. I mean, look at Kepler right now. The damage is massive. Shun has failed with this gank. Yao Yao taken up the Ignite, but it means the kill doesn't go to Arn. He hasn't cashed in, but Kepler has a double into a triple. The bottom lane unleashed, and TT are again slaughtering Invictus Gaming.
Hey, can you just check the records there? This is game 3 and not game 1, right? Because I swear I've seen this before, where Beishwan again predicting Shun's movement there, moving back down towards the bottom side. You see, his camps are all spawning on top. He actually wants to be on the top side of the map right now, but just a great read from Day7 after making this play mid to make sure he can get more. Great flash here from Yuka, but the Sonic Wave just a smidge wide on Yukai's flash, but they still managed to get the kill regardless.
It's rough to watch, though. Honestly, Dagger, I love seals, and seeing one die in front of me is pretty rough. But this is kind of a rough death as well, the bottom lane. You're right, it's a remix of Game 1.
Yeah, and again, like, you don't expect Day7 to be on the bottom side here. He's only got his Krugs up, but you look, his Gromp has just spawned on top side, his Wolves are there, his Blue was about to come up. You'd expect that Shun was going to be, sorry, not Shun, that Day7 was going to be on the top side of the map. But just a really good read once more. And Day7, again, like, this is a guy that got thrust into the LPL, got promoted so quickly from FPX base to the main roster that, I mean, his head must have been spinning, but, I mean, he's coming out kicking on top here in this series.
He's a fill-in, and so is Shun. I mean, that's a narrative they share, actually. As you spotted on the top side, just note, there is a bit of a trade in the bottom lane. Arn is doing pretty well here, but as Hoya comes back in, this Mega Knight's taken a lot of spinning axes. So I'm going to pause on the story time because IG are going to make the dive again. But look, who's here to save the day? Yao Yao wants to come through, but is it in time? No. The pillar can't do anything, and Shun gets his reset, gets his retribution, and finally gets his first kill of this game.
A lot of members from TT moving down towards the bot side, though. At least IG, again, helping to try and get on back in business, but 2 assists, no kills to the Draven is always a little bit heartbreaking. And unfortunate for Hoya there, just not respecting the fact there was so many members of IG down the bot lane.
He wanted to respond to the play, but now he's losing out a little bit in the top side. You can look at where the wave is, and the CS difference is, what a weird way of saying it, but Zika is 20 up.
It felt like very exotic, I'm not gonna lie.
It was differential turned into difference, you know.
It reminded me of a, Shakaron.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Shakaron. Yeah. Always a classic. It's topside, though, Dagda, that got me into this position, honestly. Like, Hoya getting beaten to a bit of a crisp as well. And for IG, despite the bottom lane, despite the vertical jungling that we saw, there are still ways in this game that we can see it played out.
Yeah, I think the best thing for IG to try and do here is, again, continue to focus on the bot side. Herald is in favor of TT. If you can try and make a play on bot side, though, you can force TT to use that Rift Herald elsewhere. You're not going to get a bigger advantage for Kepler and Yao Yao. Also, Yao Yao is still only level 5, so you still have at least a little bit of a level advantage down here. Yep. But your biggest worry is what's about to happen here is like Day7 coming down, looking for a play, trying to use the fact you've already got some of those turret plates dead on bot side to just amplify TT's bot lane lead.
And we won't have Curse of the Sad Mummy for Wink. So he's got another 25 seconds or so. Dragon is spawning within that time, but Wink is going to be a bit on the nose with his ultimate. So TT is like, look for the setup in this dive. They've got a couple of tools that are working as a disadvantage, they know, for IG. At the very least, Kepler with the Fate's Call. Now Yao Yao with 6 in the Subjugate. Might make a bit of a difference here as well. He's got a lot of wave clear too, so sits in it by himself. Second Dragon going to be picked up by TT. We continue to sing the praises, amongst other things, for TT's early game and their objective control once again.
The threat of Day7 doing a lot of work there. You never saw IG try and commit to any sort of play or even commit to pushing the wave out both in mid and in bot side because they knew that Day7 was in the area. So you get the push regardless, which gives you Dragon, and you get to hold on to the Rift Herald. Shundo now moving towards this mid lane, but Yuka's already gone. He's moving down to support this Rift Herald play on bot side.
I mean, and Kepler and Yao Yao have so much damage between the two of them. It's not just going to be a Rift Herald play, Dagda. It's going to be first Turret Blood with no response on the map. Shun was also seen by Yukao. So TT right now, this is such an easy take, and they'll get a second charge on the next turret, Dagda. Mid's going to be cleared. Like, it's kind of rough to watch IG just sit with their head in their hands for the time being.
And it's not like you can even try and make a play mid. Like, Yukai doesn't have any sort of gank setup. Shun really can't close the gap onto Yukai as long as he's safe, and he's staying underneath the tower. So, again, just this lead growing for TT. And, again, I think this is like TT looking really invigorated. And it's exciting to see this team because, look, let's be realistic. They didn't have good series. I know Ox still groans and moans every time you mention TT versus FPX, but this is generally like a re-invitalized roster. And if they're out to play like they are at the moment in taking these early leads, using it to find picks, this is a way that they can try and snowball in towards playoffs. My only caveat for them is they haven't shown me good team fights, And you need that as a base entry level in the LPL.
Yeah, it's a mid game that, you know, starts falling off a little bit, right? Decision making and, as you said, team fights. Feel like TT are not playoff worthy yet, so that's what is kind of keeping them gated, in my opinion. Is UCal again? The flash for flash. Hey, the Emperor's Divide and Glide is UCal's name on it every time. And it's setting up for the next Herald play, Dagda. However, there is no Herald here. I thought, yeah, great timing, TT, once again. But they just want more blood. They want a setup in one lane or another.
They're now going to start moving up towards topside. This Yaoshuan duo is causing major issues for IG. And this is the thing, once you start to get these leads, this linking between the jungle support has been incredible to watch. It's something that I think lacks on a lot of teams in the LPL at the moment, is like utilizing effectively your jungle support. And honestly, I think this is such a good move from...
Oh, kick flash. Beichuan in and out,
Wait a
but
sec.
Shun won't let him. At least Yuekai goes down, but Beichuan is being slapped on by Shun. And the shutdown going to be more worth it. He didn't have his Yao duo with him this time. Dagda is in the bottom lane. A 1v1 with the Meganar against the wall, but what can Hoya do? Zika still with the grand challenge, holding on to it for now, but Hoya keeps throwing it, building after building after building after building. And Zika is trying to dodge away. Dagda, you said the Yao Chuan duo.
UCal.
I want to say a little bit more, but I don't have the chance, do I? You're right, UCal's coming down, and now the grand challenge under turret. Hoya doesn't get tagged. And now UCal can slide once again over the wall. Zeke going to be tagged out and taken down for kill number 2.
But this is what we're talking about with UCal, roaming around the map on the Azir, finding the help for Hoya on that bottom lane. But yeah, as you said, you know, no Yaoshuan this time. So UCal does get a brilliant kill. Like, this is slick from Beichuan, but the fact that you just got Shun standing right around the corner is a little bit of a whoopsie from Beichuan. Yeah. And because he used the safeguard onto a ward, the cooldown is longer, so it doesn't have the safeguard to try and get back out underneath the turret.
But he's back again. I mean, Yuekai just getting bullied again. This is what happened in Game 1, Dagda. Even Game 2, you could say, TT know that they just have to keep killing this mid laner. Isn't the bottom side, at least Arn gets the cash in on Hoya, there's that. And IG are slowly finding, you know, resources in this game. But the problem is that TT just keep speeding up the pace.
And this time they had Yao now trying to 1v1 Zika. Look, I appreciate you, Yao, but that is not something that you want to go for. Beichuan now going to group up with them. They're playing around the mid lane. Rift Herald again in the back pocket. And Wink. Oh no, Wink.
Yeah, Wink went in, and he's going to regret that. Instant flash to pillar up as well. Sonic Wave to secure the kill. He goes golden in the nick of time, but there's range on that Azir, and quite easily done to pick up yet another kill. Wink a little bit tragic here, and with him goes the mid lane turret. Gold for TT, Dagda.
This is what happens when you tell an AD carry they can engage. They just go crazy with it. But see this on the bot side. Hoya completely decimated, just caught out. Thinks he can push in, but it does end up giving that play in the mid lane, so kind of evens out with the kill going across the TT, but the turret falling as well. So now TT, full control of the map. Third dragon in 5 seconds, and it's a mountain dragon, which is so good for TT's composition.
And you can see that already, you know, TT using the pressure towards mid, clearing out the wave, and the package is here, but Yuekai Dagda has had this for a little bit. It's not like he's just picked it up in front of the dragon. The timer on that thing has got to be getting close. As IG walk towards his choke, they want to start the fight now, but Yuekai has to pick his battles. As TT move in, the dragon has begun. The package getting close to the timing out, but maybe it's okay. Has finally used, it's the zone off. Another Valkyrie on top as Wink is here off the side. His ult not available, and Arn sent out in the process. TT with the chase up, and a Meganar at the ready. Zika comes over the wall. That is a regretful decision. The Fates call the kick away. Wait. Oh, Beichuan, you've been looking so good until that, but with the TP in the middle, I think it's still going their way as TT pick one side and IG another. At least the reset comes through from Sean, but he's struggling to get the Sonic Wave as Kepler is dipping, docking, diving, dodging, getting hit with a wrench in the process, Arn flushing over. It's blood work for Invictus Gaming as Hoya keeps firing away, trying to take down this Draven. But he tried at his might, and TT is still the victors.
TT able to take it out of the hands of IG. It was a glorious attempt, but just not enough in the tank. The Eclipse Healing not able to keep him up and standing. And now Kepler, as you said, 1v2 in against Zika and Shun, manages to take the top half of this fight as well. We'll catch on the replay. As you say, bit of a mistake from Beishuan here, kicking Zuka to safety. I don't know if he was trying to kick him against the wall, which may have been the case. Yeah, I think he just misangled it. Tried to kick him against the wall to keep the CC chain going so he couldn't dodge over the wall. But either way here, you get Kepler, who is fighting against 3 people here as Hoya comes in. But the Lee Sin goes down. Good dodge away by Kepler there from the Sonic Wave. Hoya finishes off the bottom side of the fight. And this is actually, like, look at the on heal. Manages to flash over the wall to finish off Yukal. The Eclipse here as well means he's getting a good amount of damage back. Like, this was getting a little bit dangerous. If only On had a bit more damage in the tank, that could have been a massive play for the IG AD carry.
What was that? I mean, On was on the shield, Dagda. I don't understand the Azir mechanics. Like, if you touch the shield, you go for a bit of a bouncy castle. So, yeah, I guess Arn was right on the threshold, and it plays off in a massive way. At least IG still having some fuel in the tank of the game. That has been beautiful bot lane plays from TT, has been Beichuan dominated. Finally, Shun gets his dream fight, gets a couple of resets, and even though IG lost more members, we have to remember, they stopped the Dragon Stack, they dropped the Force here, Dagda. They've got a couple of extra stats on their side as well. TT might still be in control, but IG are not hopeless in this third and final game.
They are losing a lot though. Mid tier 2 gone down, and still actually pressure on this top side as well. Hoya being able to match Zika's pressure means that Zika may actually just look for a TP play, honestly. See if they can catch TT out if they overextend here, but no, instead they're all just going to back away. Baron, up in a minute's time, is going to probably be the next main focus where we see teams dancing around it, because TT can very quickly take that objective, but we'll have to see if they actually find a moment to go against it. I think TT as a team have shown over the last couple of series that they are not afraid to just randomly start Baron and try and catch teams with their pants down. So you have to be very wary as IG that that's not going to be the case.
But I think my concern is also that TT have not shown they are a team fighting team, right? So at the very least, the Baron play seems, you know, like an advantageous position. We have to remember what we've been criticizing TT throughout this series and many other series. As the game goes later, decision-making in team fights, the coordination isn't all there. So even though we've seen a really good early game Dagda, we need to see them close it out. We need to see this Baron or next Dragon play being something, I guess something cleanlier than what we've experienced so far.
And that's the crux of this, is like, can TT now carry this momentum forward a minute until the next Dragon? So they do at least still have control over the Rip, but not having Yukal, who's now moving up towards the side lane to clear out the wave, that wave pushed in, means they're just going to steal away some of these camps, get a little bit of vision control. But the problem is you've got completely abandoned your bot side vision control for the Dragon in a minute. So now you've kind of got to reset and re-establish that. Or maybe TT are looking to just trade that Dragon for the Baron.
Maybe. I mean, look, at this point, as Beichuan finds the Sonic Wave, TT looking more aggressive. That bait's call just for the pillar, and the kick flash from Beichuan onto Uekai once again. Arn is now isolated here, and that is a combo we wanted to see as Yukal gets another beautiful engage here. The slide and glide, and meanwhile, the Yao Chur combo in the support jungle once again trumps IG.
It's BEA beautiful from TT. Absolutely gorgeous play coming through from Beichuan. The Azir ultimate from Yukal on point. And hey, look, they said they can go for the Baron. We thought they'd have to sneak it. They just got away with it. They just do it in front of IG's faces.
I just love Kepler's ulti simply so Yao Yao could press E, Dagda. It wasn't even for the engage. It was so nice to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we'll catch it here. Beichuan, great positioning here, and holds on to this follow-up for so long. Waits for the stand aside to be gone from On, then gets the kick play. And they already knew, because Yao Yao with the flash, he said, with the pillar to cut off On, you're getting both carries on IG's side. Yukal as well, knowing exactly what he needed to do in that situation. IG will get Dragon, but you're going to lose a lot more with the positioning TT have on the map.
Oh yeah, the Baron's going to do a lot of work. Dagda, I stole your nickname, by the way, for this jungle support. Before you said Yao Chuan, I think you said.
Yeah.
But I had to change it to Yao Chur because Yao in Chinese is want, Chur is eat. And TT with the support jungle duo, they've been wanting to eat all game, man. Like 11 kill participation for Yao Yao. We've also got 12 for Beichuan. They've been involved in so much in this game and have just made up so many great plays with this Lee Sin Trundle. And I mean, TT are the ones to be exemplified right now. They're 8k in the lead. And even though IG, as you said, picked up the Dragon, You mentioned that TT are going to get so much off the back of it, and they've already begun. And we've got a minute 45 until that Baron expires too.
And now TT are doing what I did every restaurant that I went into in China, was point to something, go Jugga and Koi Ma. And they just want the pace right now. They want to make sure that they're going to be able to get this nice and easy.
God.
And they're going to be fed as all hell at the end of this.
I remember people looking at us every time, Kima. They're just, you know, probably sick of us asking if we could do something. Those were good times, Dagda. Those were 3 years ago, but still good times. And it feels like, you know, IG at this point are not having the same experience we had. Not that cool little culture shock experience of new food, great delights. IG have gone back home and are sitting in a booth right now thinking, man, why are we looking down the barrel of 1-7? This is a world championship organization. This is such a developing roster, but they just haven't made that big leap. And as they go down towards TT now, trying to make a fight and bring the game back in, at least they get a kill on their defense bed. At least they keep the game going, and Invictus Gaming maybe aren't out of it yet.
Yeah, kill for the mid lane inhibitor is going to be relatively okay for IG, as bad as things could have gone. The mid inhibitor, the easiest to try and defend. You can push up mid, still be able to lean in towards both the Dragon and the Baron. And at least for the moment, TT have to back away with that Baron buff running out. So definitely could have been a hell of a lot worse, and we'll catch it here in the replay. Shun looks like just catches Yukal with a bit of the CC at the end of this. Yeah, just hiding behind the wall, catches Yukal. Hoya tries to defend them with the Mega Gnar, but just isn't quite able to do it. So much damage comes through so quickly, and Yukal falls.
Yukal has some moments, Dagda, let's be real. Even though he's gotten a lot better since the start of the split, since his debut last split, Yukal just has some of those moments. I feel like for TT, he's going to take a bit of time, you know, to get used to this roster. And as you said, there must be some language barriers here, right? We have LPL developmental talent. We have LCK, I wouldn't say superstars, right? But we still say, you know, players that have been in the spotlight a little bit. Yukal in the past. I think it was KT. It was KT his prime. Not 100% sure. My LCK knowledge is definitely lacking.
I'm pretty sure it
moments.
was, yeah.
But, you know, Hoya as well, even recently.
Yeah, I mean, went to Worlds on KT back in the day with Smeb, Score, Deft, and Mata. Not exactly a team to sniff at. But yeah, I mean, Yukal has been around the scene for quite a while. And as you say, Hoya is there as well, coming across from Damwon. This is a roster that has very many languages in the middle of it. So I think that's why we're seeing some struggles with the way that they coordinate themselves in team fights, especially when you kind of get these like encircling team fights where they want to try and cover every angle of escape.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, which angle are you going to pick this time around? TT cutting off every part, and you know, as we get the side lane from Zika pushing in, just look at what's been trading off. Now, to be fair, IG are the team behind. Getting a trade with Objective Bounty still feels nice. But Dagda, at this point, what's the next step for IG? Like, if you want this game to go a little bit longer, how do you push it that little bit further so that you can have an opportunity to get back in?
The biggest thing is trying to get as many items onto your Corki and this Fiora as possible. Okay. You've kind of still stemmed the bleeding a little bit, but with Dragon in 50 seconds, I'm trying to figure out if your best bet is to try and play through a side lane with Zika. Maybe try and see if you can get some gold there. Or if you honestly just want to fight. You've got 2 Mountain Dragons to your name that's giving you a little bit of help. If you can get a good fight, maybe you can make something happen, but it's just with 4 items on towards Kepler, 3 items on towards Yukal. That fight seems very unlikely unless you find a pick. So I think maybe try to play around Zik in a side lane would be your best bet, but I don't think IG are interested with where the waves are. They can't really push in for a tier 2, get some of these bounties. They need to try and make a play.
But I will say, as Zika gets pillared here, that flash going down at the bottom right hand of our screen, you know, is another play where TT solo owners have been caught out. So, you know, Dragon's coming up in 5 seconds. That's undoubtedly going to be TTs. But IG, as you said, you know, Uekai with items, Zika with items, that is progressing. They are getting their side lanes under order. They're able to leave the base at the very least. And the next Dragon's not going to be available for a while. And Dagda, remember, because IG picked up the second mountain, or their second mountain, the game is going to go a little bit longer than maybe TT would have liked. And late game ain't their strength. Late game ain't TTs to take. Late game is something that TT have been struggling with, whether their comp supports it or not.
At least they are still kind of doing the correct checklist at the moment on TT's side.
True.
They got the dragon. They're getting vision control where they need it, which is on this top side. And again, well, apparently we're just starting this. That ward outside the pit is going to be crucial, though, because it will let IG know that the Baron has been started.
There's a double as well, and we have double TP on our solo laners too. Uekai, I believe that's a package in his hand as H1 sits over a wall. He wants to engage, and perfect package usage. Dagger, I need to see it, because H1 now in with the kick flash again. Hello on Uekai once more. He can't even use the package. As the pillar flies down, IG have numbers disadvantage, even with the curse of the sad mummy. At least there's a reset, but the ulti from Ucal buys space. He's shifting sands into the back line. Arn wants his resets too, but a flash away as H1 still carrying the fight. Sonic Wave, he can't be Jackie Love today. TT stands strong. It's Thomas the Tank Engine round 2.
On was so close to carrying that fight. Zika got the ultimate pop, and that's when we saw IG kind of rouse themselves and see if they could finally win one engage. But I don't think we're over, Hysterics. That inhibitor respawning means that TT are going to go back towards Baron. This one will drag on. But honestly, I mean, Uekai up now. He can TP in. We're seeing pings go down. I don't know if this replay is going to complete the full wave, but we'll have to see. Watch again. Phase 1. Great pick onto Uekai. Doesn't get a chance to use the ultimate here. Sorry, the package here. But keep your eyes on Zika. As Zika comes in, he gets the grand challenge on towards Hoya. And as this procs, look at the healing that suddenly starts to come through. That's where you're starting to see IG try to win out in this fight, but there's so much damage from Kepler, from Ucal, and they're just not quite able to do it. IG now, don't TP in with Uekai. They will lose the Baron, and I feel like that is the last death knell for IG.
I'm just so surprised how close it was in a 4v5. When the pick starts with Uekai not even getting to use package, imagine if they get the full 5v5 dagger. Imagine if package comes out. Even this 0-6 Corki, who has been bullied by H1 at every single turn, it could have been a very different story. So I feel like for IG, you know, they might be down 9,000 gold, and you're saying this could be the last hurrah. I believe you, but I'm also sus because it just still feels so close despite that massive lead. At the very least, Dagda, as I take your word here and the Baron comes through, I want us to talk a little bit more about how TT can end the game, because they've only cracked the base through mid. That's one inhibitor down. There's still inhibitor turrets standing on top and bottom respectively. We now have to look at how TT set up these side waves, and I think you're the perfect man to tell us how.
Yeah, I think you need to start grouping up as TT again. The problem is the Hoya can't compete with Zika on a side lane, so he's not really in a position to actually push out this wave. So I imagine they're going to move Hoya, as you can see here, to mid lane. He pushes in. The rest of TT will group up. And Hoya's job is just to crash this wave into tower and then group a TT on bot side so they can force a numbers advantage. IG definitely, I think, still have some semblance of a chance. The biggest problem is that they don't have access to the package right now, which would be the main source of damage for Uekai. And the poke isn't really doing too much, as you can see. Like, that was a rocket there from Ucal that barely scratched his health.
He's 30 minutes into a game with 2.5 items. Yeah. Like, Uekai is doing nothing, you're right. 4 items is response from Ucal. As you know, the Ue and the Ucal is just, Dagda, it's getting me now. But this level 17 Azir has himself a Zhonya's. Can go in and, unlike here with Corki, that's only the stopwatch as one-time use, doesn't feel as versatile as Fate's Call's being used. Once again, Yao Yao wanting the pillar onto Wink. It gets a slow, but there's no engage. Now with an ulti down, all for an inhibitor. TT are looking a bit scarce here as the engage onto Hoya, the grand challenge on the side, the Heartbreaker denied by a good golden timing, but they want Shun. However, the damage isn't enough from him. IG now front to backing here as Zika gets out in the nick of time for Ucal. Once again in the back line, the Empress Divide not on Arn though, as Shun goes golden. TT no now with the numbers advantage. It should be better this time as Kepler has found himself the window. A double turning into a quick triple, turning into Hoya jumping forward. TT make it look rough, but at the very least, they say goodnight to IG, making their chances of playoffs look increasingly more valuable.
3 and 4 now for TT on the scoreline.